the black and white cinematography for Roma makes the lighthouse look like Clerks. And no disrespect to Clerks or the lighthouse, but yeah, this cinematography is beautiful. Hey everybody, welcome to another movie review, and today I will be reviewing Roma. Yes, okay, there we go. Roma. So yeah, Roma, this came out in 2018 and was written and directed by Alfonso Cuarón. And I'm not going to say the cast because I'll butcher their names, so yeah. But, alright, Alfonso Cuarón. This is my second Alfonso Cuarón film I have reviewed on the channel. I've also reviewed Children of Men. Go check out that review if you haven't already. And out of all of Alfonso's films, this is my third Alfonso Cuarón film. I've also seen Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, of course, because as you know, if you're familiar with my channel, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Look behind me, Sirius Black. but yeah, so yeah, and I've seen Prisoner of Azkaban, Children of Men, and Roma. I still haven't seen Gravity or Yatu Mama Tapien, I think is the name of it, and his others as well. This is a director I'm still trying to get used to. Of course, I love Prisoner of Azkaban, and I liked Children of Men. I think I gave it a pretty positive review whenever I did review it, but then I remember I watched it again after that, and I didn't like it as much as the first time, but I'll still say it's still a great film. So yeah, this is my third one. This is my third Alfonso Cuarón film. This won in a poll against Little Women 1994, and yeah, here's my review on it. So yeah, going into this movie, I was going in pretty much blind, not knowing anything, but except for it was directed by Alfonso Cuarón. That was like the only thing I knew about it, really. I knew it got some Oscar love too, and I wasn't really sure if it was going to be a foreign film, to be honest. But yeah, and this is my second foreign film I've reviewed for the channel. I honestly haven't seen too many foreign films, unfortunately. I need to, but yeah. The other one I've seen and I reviewed on the channel was Parasite. So yeah, this is of course, in Spanish, with subtitles. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, Roma. I think usually before I say the plot, I'll say whether or not I liked it or not. But actually, I'm going to wait till I explain the plot now. So yeah, I'll go ahead and try to explain the plot the best I can. So all right, so Roma is about it takes place in the early 1970s in Mexico, particularly the years 1970 and 1971, and it's about this young woman named Cleo, who is a housekeeper for this family, and she is, she's struggling through life. She's pregnant, and her boyfriend, breaks up with her after, abandons her pretty much after he finds out that, he doesn't even break up with her. He just abandons her after he finds out that she's pregnant. And yeah, I don't know what all, I guess that's all I can kind of say. Well, it takes place during that time in Mexico. There was some kind of massacre that happened. So it kind of takes place during that time. It's not really a true story, but it's a fictional story, but with true stuff, stuff that actually happened. Kind of like Titanic, for example, because that movie isn't really a true story, but of course, the sinking of the Titanic did happen. So it's kind of like that. And also, this was written by Alfonso Cuarón, and and it's loosely based off of, I think during that time, I think he was a kid during that time. This was like kind of loosely based on his life growing up, I think. So yeah, yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I can say about the plot. Not really a whole lot to say, but yeah. So anyways, all right, so Roma. What did I think about Roma? This is more of a movie that I appreciate more than I actually like. I will admit, this film is really good. This is a very well-made film. Maybe a masterpiece? Perhaps. It's very well made, very well acted, very well shot. Very well shot. I'll talk about that for sure. But like, I don't know. I didn't necessarily like the movie too much. I don't know. Like, now I will say though, surprisingly, it didn't really bore me. Not too much. I mean, there were some scenes that kind of dragged, but as a whole, like, the movie surprisingly didn't bore me. Like, I'm really surprised that it didn't. Like, movies like The Godfather and Gladiator, those films have bored me. This one didn't, surprisingly. I thought, going into it, I thought that this was going to be boring. But not necessarily. I mean, a couple scenes, kind of. And it is a slow-paced film, but it wasn't really that boring. It was a little bit, kind of like I said in my Parasite review, it was a little bit hard to follow the dialogue because it's in subtitles, Like, I'm still trying to get used to subtitles in films. Like, my thing with subtitles is that they don't appear on screen for too long, so it's hard for me to keep up with. I'm not a very fast reader. I'm pretty slow at reading, so yeah, that was kind of tough. But luckily, unlike Parasite, because Parasite had a lot of dialogue, this movie didn't have as much dialogue. I mean, there was a good handful, but it wasn't like, there wasn't a whole lot of dialogue. There was actually quite a bit of scenes without dialogue. So yeah, so yeah, that was cool. And so the reading the subtitles this time it was okay. It didn't really, I mean, there were some parts I missed that I didn't really get, while watching the movie, but for the most part, it was all right reading the subtitles. It didn't bother me. Yeah. And I don't really have too much negatives about this film. Not really. It's just that, I don't know. It's just not quite up there for me. But I will say that it is a very good film. A very good film. So, alright. So, I'll go ahead and jump into the positives. I kind of already said them, but, I'll go a little bit more deeper into them. So, yeah. I'll go ahead and say, all right, I'll start with the performances. Performances were very good. All the actors, the girl who played Cleo was very good. Sorry, I don't know her name. I can't pronounce it or anything. And also the mother too of the family. She was pretty good as well. The kids as well. Some of them were kind of funny. Yeah. Performances for the most part was very good. And I also thought it was really interesting that this film didn't really have a score to it. Like, there wasn't any score. No music, really. I mean, there were like some scenes where there was music, but only like if someone was playing music, But yeah, this film didn't have a score, and I kind of liked that. I thought that was pretty interesting. The only other movie I can think of that also does that is No Country for Old Men. Also, that movie doesn't have a score either, but I think the reason why for that, because, it's a thriller, and it makes it even more intense that there's no music, it makes it more real, too. Like, a lot of the shooting scenes and whatnot, the chasing scenes, there's no music playing. So that was really cool, But this one doesn't. Okay, actually, there is like one scene in this movie because, like I said, the massacre happens and stuff. There is one scene that's kind of intense. So yeah, it does have that, and there's no music playing too. So yeah, but for the most part, this doesn't really have. I mean, only one scene has like violence in it. And if that's a spoiler, by the way, I apologize. But that's all I'll say though. But you know, nothing like too like, you know, crazy, you know, other than that one scene happens in this film. So yeah, so I do think it's very interesting that there's no score. But yeah, it really works though. And yeah, I'll go and say the cinematography. Well, okay, the direction by Alfonso Cuarón, also very good. You know, also I should say he also did the cinematography for this film. Like he actually did the cinematography himself. So yeah, and that's the thing I'll say about Alfonso Cuarón in general. His films of, you know, the two other films I've seen as well, the cinematography is great. I also really liked it in Children of Men, and even Prisoner of Azkaban had really good cinematography. But yeah, this one especially, this is definitely his best shot film in my opinion. Even though I haven't seen all of his films yet, but yeah, it in the black and white looks gorgeous. Like I said in the intro, makes the lighthouse, which at the time before I saw this movie, I thought the Lighthouse was probably like the best looking black and white film of the last decade. But no, this one's even better. But I said it makes it look like Clerks. And again, no disrespect to Clerks. And if you know me, Clerks is one of my favorite movies of all time. But, you know, I mean, I don't think the black and white cinematography in that movie was terrible. But you know, it was cheap. So, of course, yeah, this makes it look like Clerks. Makes the Lighthouse look like Clerks. That's what I mean by it. And I'm probably the only movie reviewer that will mention Clerks in a Roma review, but that's me because, yeah, I love Clerks. But anyways, beside the point. Yeah, this looks amazing. And also the you know, the shots in this film, it has a lot of long takes in this film. That's a thing that Alfonso Cuarón likes to do. He likes to have long takes in his films. A lot of, like, you know, tracking shots and whatnot. There were some good ones in Children of Men that I liked. And yeah, this one, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like long takes, and there's even like a lot of those too. There's a lot of wide shots too. Like pretty much all the, like, every time there's like, I don't really recall there being like close-up shots. I just remember like there being a lot of wide shots, kind of pretty much, where the characters are a little bit farther away. For the most part, I think that's what it was. And yeah, and the camera moves a lot too. There was one scene that kind of almost made me feel like a little dizzy too, where the camera was like going around like in a circle pretty much in this one room. But other than that, it kind of did. It kind of made me a little nauseous, or almost at least. But other than that, though, I like it a lot. Like, I like the moving camera a lot in this film. It's just really, really fucking cool the way he did this film. Almost like a documentary style. Like almost like they had a camera. Like, this is an actual family, and they had a camera there, and the camera guy is like, all right, pretend we're not here. And they did. So that's kind of how it seems, really. So yeah, that was really cool. I liked that a lot. So yeah, more positives than negatives. I don't really have any negatives really, other than it is a little slow at certain moments, but other than that, I mean, that's not a big deal. That's just me. That's just on me. That's more of a nitpick, I guess. But, you know, I've said it before in my other videos, I don't have the best attention span in the world. So yeah, that's on me about not really paying attention to certain scenes or whatnot. But no, other than that, I don't have any complaints about this film. But however, I don't know. This movie just didn't really, it just didn't really get me to, love this movie or even like this movie. It's almost there. You'll see on my my rating in a minute, but yeah, I don't know, just not quite there. Maybe if I watch it again, maybe I'll like it better. I'm not sure if I will watch it again though. I don't know yet. It's not really a movie I have any desire to watch again. Maybe in a few years or so I might, but not anytime soon. So yeah, my rating for this is going to be a little bit low, and I apologize for that. That's only because it's based on how I like the film, not on how I think this film is good. How great this film how great I think this film is. Because if we're judging it on that, then yeah, I'll probably give it a 5-star rating, or maybe at least a 4.5-star rating. But it's going to be a little bit low. So yeah, not really much to say. I do recommend this movie if you are a film lover like myself. I do recommend watching it at least once. So yeah, and if you love black and white films, if you love black and white cinematography and whatnot, definitely give this a watch. And if you like foreign films as well. So yeah, I guess that's all I can say. So I'm gonna give Roma a 3-star rating. Give it 3 stars. I know it should be higher, but again, it's based on how well I like the movie, and unfortunately, it not even like a 3.5. I was thinking about it, but just not quite there. Just not quite. I know. I wish I liked this movie more than I actually do, but I definitely appreciate this film. Maybe if I ever do an Alfonso Cuarón ranking, I might rewatch it again. So maybe I might watch it again sometime soon if I decide I want to do a Alfonso Cuarón ranking, which I probably will someday. But yeah. Anyways, Roma, 3 stars. Yeah. All right, there we go. There's my review for Roma. So in the comments, tell me, have you seen Roma? Have you not? Also, give me your favorite Alfonso Cuarón film. For me, that's Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Obviously. Yeah. All right. So please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. In my next video, my next 2 videos, for Thursday, I'm gonna try to do my Ramones ranking. I think that probably most likely will be the next one. I'm still in the middle of doing it. But I have like 4 albums left. As soon as I get done with this, I'm gonna listen to Brain Drain. So yeah, and then on next Monday is going to be my Wes Anderson ranking, and I'm still in the middle of that. I still got 3 of his films left, but yeah, I have the Darjeeling Limited. I bought that on DVD not that long ago. So yeah. So anyway, so yeah, the Wes Anderson ranking will be next Monday. So anyways, all right. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Okay. Peace.